What's up guys, it's the Surface Scrubbers back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to soft wash with your pressure washer. This method is extremely easy and you only need a couple things to get you started. The first thing you need is one of these. Right now, I currently own the Simpson pressure washer, which is 4,000 PSI and 3.5 gallons per minute. It's been very good for me and I've used it for the last 2 years. To soft wash with your pressure washer, you really don't need one that's super strong. So just find the one that's right for you and use that one. The next thing you need is what's called a siphon. This is mine right here. You put it into what's called the downstream injector, and the chemicals get sucked up through this, and the end of this has like a protective piece so that no grass or other debris gets up in the pressure washer. I currently have a weird setup right now because I had to block off my downstream injector because it got pretty rusty, but typically your downstream injector will be right about here on the side of your pump, and you would take your siphon and just plug it on there and then put this into your chemical bottle. So right now I've got it back here, but it's doing the same exact thing. The next thing you need is chemical. These are the two chemicals I use. This is the Pool Essentials and this is the Splash Pool Shock. They both do the same exact thing. This one is 1% stronger, but you can find both of these at Walmart for around the $6 to $7 range. 6, 7.
6, 7.
I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so please ignore what just happened. I did not mean to do that. But anyways, yeah, it's about $6 for each of these bottles, and you get a good amount of use out of it. I'd say probably one of these bottles would go through about one long side of the house and then one short side. So I use about probably three or four bottles on like really big houses and probably like 2 on a small house. So the final thing you need is just some Dawn dish soap. This I put in the chemical and it helps it stick on the wall longer so that the chemical works in and gets all that green algae and mildew off. I'll show you. I really don't put too much in there. But I'll show you guys just about how much I put in. Just about that. That's all you need, and then you just give it a good shake and it's ready to go. These are not necessary to get, but I would 100% recommend getting them. I got this on Amazon for about $20. It came with the turbo nozzle too for the concrete, which helps out a lot. But what it is basically is a pack of extra nozzles, and it comes with this one right here, the pink one. This is the one I use the most out of all my nozzles because what it does is it allows me to reach up to the second story houses. So this pink piece that I've been talking about, it's got the gold bag, which means that it's allowed to collect the chemical from the pressure washer. So I start with just the water with my siphon out of the chemical and just pre-rinse everything, and then I put the siphon back in the chemical to collect the chemical up through this thing, and it reaches up to the top of all these houses that I do. It comes with all these, and this blue one is also a 0 degree chemical collector one. So I would definitely recommend getting it. And this is that turbo nozzle I was talking about that just helps it get the concrete cleaned a lot faster. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on and get the pressure washer started. I like to give the pressure washer some time to collect all the water from turning it on right away, because I've got a 100-foot hose and the water doesn't get there right away. So I typically give it a couple minutes to let all the water get through. First and foremost, you want to spray down all of the plants in front of the siding. You don't even want to mess with that with the chemical, because the chemical will kill it instantly. So you want to make sure that you spray it before and after your job. This step is extremely important because this chemical kills anything green instantly. Now I'm ready to go ahead and turn on the pressure washer. I'm going to start by pre-rinsing with that pink nozzle I was telling you about, and I'm going to get every inch of that siding wet. It's extremely important to get every single square inch of that side wet, because if you don't, the chemical will dry on it faster, leaving yellow marks streaking down the sides. And the homeowners will not be happy about this at all, and it can cost you lots of money to fix it. So now once your plants are sprayed down and your siding is pre-rinsed, you're ready to go. So now the next step is to put the siphon in the chemical. When you guys are doing this, you want to be careful, because you want to make sure that the chemical is on level ground and that it's not going to fall over and spill it into the grass and kill your homeowner's grass, which has happened to me multiple times. And you want to make sure that this siphon piece is at the very bottom of the liquid so that it collects the most possible. And you also want to make sure that your hoses don't come close to knocking the bottle over as well. So now, as soon as I start the pressure washer up and put the soap nozzles on, it's going to start collecting the chemical right away. It is also extremely important to spray every single part of the side with the chemical as well. Even at the tops where it looks like it might not need it, I still spray it down to make sure that I clean every single inch of this side. The next thing you're going to do, which is probably the most boring part, is you're going to wait and let that chemical sit and work. Typically takes about 10 minutes or so to really get all of that off. And then once you're done with that, you'll go ahead and rinse it off. And that's the other nice thing about the pink nozzle, is that it's got a little pressure to it, so that it helps kick off all that extra green stuff that might not have gotten taken off with just a regular hose. It might feel boring sometimes to just wait for the chemical to sit, but I promise you it's worth it, because not only does it save you some money because you're not using quite as much chemical, but it's also better for the side to not spray it down with chemical consistently. You guys can already see the difference that it's making. There's really just a couple streaks left, but for jobs like this where it's really green, I like to go over it twice just to make sure that I get everything gone. Whenever I go over everything twice, I like to call this spot treating, because I typically just aim at the spots that are still a little bit green. Okay, so after going over it twice with the chemical, I go ahead and give it a couple minutes before I rinse it off. But once I do rinse it off, I don't know if you guys can see it very well or not. I'll pull the camera closer. A lot of times there's a bunch of like cobwebs or like leaves or bird poop or stuff like that that just gets left. And it's important to rinse all that off and make sure that it goes down the right way. The biggest thing is you never want to use pressure super close, because what'll happen is oxidation will come up and it'll look like you hit one area, but then the rest of it is going to look completely normal. So do not use pressure up close. You want to rinse it off from a distance. The most important thing when you're rinsing is that you get all of the chemical off. I learned in the beginning, whenever I started pressure washing, that if you don't get all the chemical off, it can leave yellow streaks and you'll have to go back and fix it for the homeowner. So you want to make sure you get all that chemical off and any extra debris. From my experience, rinsing it down actually takes longer than spraying the chemical on the side. So you want to make sure that you get every single inch of that siding rinsed off. I can't express this to you guys enough, but rinsing is the most important part of this entire process. I'm pretty particular about my jobs, and I make sure that I leave nothing left on the walls whenever I'm done. It's also important to rinse quickly whenever you're doing jobs out in the sun. Thankfully for this job, I was doing it in the shade, so I was able to wait a little bit longer before I rinsed. I try to split it up into sections so I know where I have rinsed already and where I haven't yet. Yeah, I wasn't lying whenever I said it takes forever to rinse it off, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something. Please feel free to leave a comment on the video. I'll try and respond to you as fast as I can if you guys have any questions at all. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to soft wash with a pressure washer. Peace.